Hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Please Pause, your weekly update on Starcraft 2 Esports. My name is Cyan, your host. Today is Thursday, June 2nd. Because this is the very first episode of Please Pause, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what my goal is, what my purpose is for doing this. Basically, I want to bring you guys, all of the esports community, anybody that's interested, a nice bite-sized sample of the past week's biggest Starcraft 2 esports news stories. I'm going to deliver the news stories as they are. I'm going to have links down below in the description to all relevant news stories. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal thoughts on each story. So without further ado, let's dig in. DreamHack Valencia will feature StarCraft 2 with a prize pool of $50,000 and 5,000 WCS points on the line. The tournament will feature 96 players, including 88 open bracket slots. DreamHack's Zowie Open StarCraft 2 event will take place from July 14th to 16th, beginning on a Thursday and ending on a Saturday of that week. I'm really glad that the finals for this event aren't happening on a Monday like they did with DreamHack Tours. Really kind of a strange choice for that tournament. But moving past that, it should be a really good tournament. The viewership is usually pretty good in that time slot, with the EU primetime hours matching up well for North America. And the crowd is hopefully going to be really good. Legacy of the Void is an amazing game. We've been seeing some amazing crowds for live audiences all across this year. And Valencia, Spain has potential to be really good. If Vortex can make a really good run, that would be really, really hype. But I won't hold out for that. Either way, it should be a good tournament. Team Roots NA versus EU Clan War took place on the weekend of May 28th. The best players from each region, as hand-selected by Cats and Penguin respectively, fought head-to-head, while the two coaches, Cats and Penguin, were on casting duty. In the end, EU completely destroyed NA, with the final map score results being 13-5 in favor of EU on day 1, and 10-5 for EU on day 2. I watched this tournament. It was really hype. It was really fun. It was really disappointing how badly NA did against EU. It's always been kind of a thing that NA is just the worst region for StarCraft, as well as in a number of other esports. Why that is, God knows. I expected EU to win. I didn't expect EU to win by this much. 13-5 day 1, that is a disgusting map score. But having said that, it was a really fun tournament. Cats and Penguin did great on the casting desks. They had a number of guests cycle through the weekend, including Deezer, which was a really weird thing to have happen. Like, who would have thought Deezer would come back in 2016 and cast a game with Cats? I would be really interested, like, if you told Cats and Deezer that circa 2012, what would they say? So it was a really great weekend, and I would encourage you to check out the VODs if you are able. SSL is being broadcast on Twitch TV once again. As announced by Wolf on Twitter, StarLeague will be broadcast live on twitch.tv and YouTube. The unfortunate thing about this is that if you're watching on Twitch TV, anything above medium quality is locked to subscribers only. Whether or not that's something that's allowed by the WCS rulebook, I don't know. That's something that a lot of people often mention in this situation. Twitch TV is so much better for viewership. It's so much better to bring people into the scene. The crossover stats on Ding It must have been atrocious, and I hope that StarLeague can make a lot of money by broadcasting on Twitch TV, and I hope that they realize that locking higher quality stream content isn't a good idea, because I quite frankly don't think that it is. After 8 years in the StarCraft 2 division, community manager Cyan has moved on from StarCraft 2, but will remain in a community position at Blizzard. CM Rackle assumes the position for StarCraft 2. Cyan did such great work for so many years for the StarCraft community. He worked in a quality assurance position for a number of years before becoming a member of the community team, and quite frankly, this show would not be happening right now without Cyan's encouragement. So, big ups to Cyan. Thanks so much for bearing with us and sticking it out. I know that there were a number of times where the community was not favorable for you, but you did a great job, and I hope to see you around StarCraft more. Cyan is on record as saying that he still gets to work a little bit with StarCraft, so that's pretty cool. Korean player Byun has left the Chinese StarCraft division of X Team. After the announcement of his departure from the team, Byun posted on the Korean forum DC Inside, telling how he became a member of X Team. and how he feels that X Team and Doyu TV were colluding to shortchange him on his contract. This is a very interesting story because it talks a lot about the way that contracts are negotiated in maybe in esports, but in particular with Korean players. It seems that Byun was being told that he was brought on for a very specific reason, and Doyu TV was stepping up and saying, well, we'll pay you to stream on our platform, but X Team won't pay you a salary. Byun eventually learned that that was incorrect. There's lots of precedent within the Chinese scene for teams to be paying players based on games played in leagues, and Byun just wasn't seeing that in his contract. Apparently, Byun talked to X Team and Doyu about this, and both parties just could not come to an understanding. Now, that's just Byun's side of the story. I'm not trying to speculate on what is fair and what's not fair. That's up to you to decide for yourselves. But it is certainly very interesting. And now Byun is a free agent, possibly one of the biggest free agents in Korea right now. And it would be amazing for Byun to be on a pro league team. I would love that personally, and I don't know many people who wouldn't love that. Byun is an incredibly exciting player to watch. He's been good for so many years. He was missing for so many years too, and now he's just back, and he seems to be as dominant as ever, if not more so. So it's really exciting to see, and hopefully Byun will bounce back and get a new team fast as he can. Just keep your fingers crossed. Finally, Liquid Tasia has announced his retirement from pro gaming. In an announcement on TeamLiquidPro.com, owner Liquid Nazgul commended Tasia for his many performances with TL, but also recognized that the pro was far from his dominance that he had experienced in Heart of the Swarm. In his own statement, Tasia reminisced about the glory days of his career and expressed his thanks and gratitude to TL's staff, owners, and his teammates. This is really another in the string of retirements that I would mark as an end of an era for Starcraft 2, particularly from the Korean scene. Just the other week, Marine King Prime retired, who was one of my favorite players of all time. And I know now that Tasia's retiring, a lot of people will be experiencing the same thing that I kind of experienced with NKP, where I just had this blast of nostalgia, and I just really thought about, the good old days of StarCraft 2. And it's definitely sad. It's certainly sad to see Tasia leave and to see his career end. He's 21 years old, and it feels like that's just so soon. It feels like that's such a flash in time. So quick. Having said that, you do have to realize that Tasia had a medical problem with his wrist that reportedly, allegedly, went undercared for or neglected for a period of time, and that certainly did affect his career. That certainly did affect the performances that he was having lately, and even back when he was winning tournaments on a more consistent basis and making lots and lots of money, there were rumblings that Tasia was going to retire. So in a way, this has kind of been a long time coming, but it's also very unfortunate no matter what, because he is just 21 years old and he was such a dominant force, and he's a lovable character. He's very awkward and cute on stage with his champagne bottle failings and his mannerisms and the stories that come around Tasia. I mean, you hear stories about him playing Osu backstage to warm up his micro, and it's truly a loss for the StarCraft 2 scene. But at the same time, even I say the end of an era, and I talk about the glory days of SC2, but that's not accurate. That's not fair to all of the new players who are coming up and who are very exciting, and the streamers. I mean, StarCraft's still got so much going on. Artosis was streaming the other night on Twitch. Rotterdam was streaming just now as I started to make this video. Nathanius, DeMuslim, tons of people. Euthermal, Bly, like there are lots of people still working very hard in the StarCraft scene, and in the Korean scene, SOS, Zest is one of the most exciting players I think for years. I mean, I could go on and on, and I don't want Tasia's retirement to be about, oh, the StarCraft 2 scene, is it dead, is it not? That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. And he deserves way better than that. So it's unfortunate to see Tasia go, but Tasia, know that your fans will never forget you, and know that your fans will never forget your amazing performances and how incredible you were at this game, Starcraft 2, and we're all so lucky that you just found your way into pro gaming. Thus ends the first episode of Please Pause. If you guys want to watch StarCraft this week, there's tons of great StarCraft happening. I'm going to link the Team Liquid events calendar down below for the week. Groups for SSL are happening. Code A is happening. Ting qualifiers, Doyu Cup, Go for StarCraft happens later today. DreamHack qualifiers, lots and lots and lots of great StarCraft 2 action. So I'm going to link the Team Liquid's events calendar down below. Please check it out. And if you can't check it out because there's just too much StarCraft for one to watch in the course of a week, well, I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to talk about it. If you have any feedback on this video and on this video series, please consider leaving it down below. If you liked what I did, if you thought that I missed a news story, please tell me in the comment section. Thumbs up the video if you liked it, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Tumblr. I am Cyan Esports on all of those social media websites. So please stick around for great StarCraft and esports and Overwatch and anything that I want to do esports related. I'm just going to put it out there and you can all tell me what you think. So thanks so much for coming along for this first episode. I'll see you guys next week.